So you can see in preparation wise, I've got my roll of masking tape so that I can tape on my roll. I've got my scissors here so that I can cut the fabric. I've got my cores that are nice and clean and really loaded to take up the material. Make sure that my belt is clean, that there's no dust, there's nothing that's been retransferred on. Sometimes if you're getting retransferred and you want to clean, but sometimes an idea to just put a clean piece of fabric through here with no transfer paper at all that would absorb any dirt that comes through. You'll also find that inside the machine there are these plates that allow the paper and fabric to be sort of scraped off the drum. Over time you'll find that dirt builds up on those plates. They're very easy to remove. You just take them out of the machine and you clean them. And that dirt will eventually, if allowed to build up, it'll start retransferring onto your fabric and make your fabric dirty. We've come to the transfer phase, so we're transferring sports garment onto bird's eye fabric. So a couple of things that you need to get right. So first, you need to load our tissue paper to protect ink from going onto the belt. And if it goes onto the belt, it basically acts like a rubber stamp and it will cause retransfer or ghosting. It also protects, in some instances you would put paper to protect ink from going onto the drum, which would cause the same effect, retransfer. When loading the material, it's important to have the tensions right. So we've got dancer bars over here to iron out the fabric. We've got tension on the paper. We've got these gauges over here, so we're basically keeping the paper nice and taut. And then we've got our transfer paper up here, which came off the printer over there. And we need to make sure that it is taut. So you can see it feels like it's locking. That's because there's almost like a clutch that's keeping it nice and taut. So you can see they've loaded the transfer paper in. The fabric is running nice and taut through here. There are no creases whatsoever. You can see the tissue paper running underneath to protect the belt from getting transfer on it. And then the transfer paper is facing down. So the back of the transfer paper is facing the drum, or the metal drum. So that's why we don't need two rolls of tissue paper running through the machine. In some instances where you're doing a direct to fabric print, what has to happen is you have tissue paper at the top, tissue paper at the bottom, and then the fabric runs in between the two like a sandwich. This protects both the belt and the print. So if you come in over the top here, you can see the finished result coming out. Things that we're looking for are nice sharp text. We also don't want wisps of ink coming off the edge, which is called what we call blowing. Blowing is when there's too much moisture in the paper and the moisture has to escape somewhere, so that's where you get blowing. Creasing is a result of the tensions being wrong, or the pressure between the belt and the drum being wrong. Okay, so when loading direct to fabric print, you've got to make sure that the belt is protected from retransfer. So we put brown paper on the belt, right? The print faces the brown paper with the back of the fabric facing the drum. In some cases, where the fabric is really thin, you may need to use two tissue papers to sandwich the fabric. Otherwise, the ink will go straight through the fabric and go onto the drum, and then it'll create that rubber stamp or ghosting. Fortunately, this is gazebo fabric, so we don't have that issue, so we only have to put it on the one side. So you can see the excess ink is now going onto the brown transfer paper. We'll just take it straight out. You don't have to let it run out. Fortunately, this is just a small print. So that excess ink that's now on the brown paper, if we didn't have the brown paper, tissue paper there, that would have retransferred and started acting as a rubber stamp, repeating and repeating and repeating. And you can now see that the color is nice and bright, it's color fast, and it's washable now. And that's it. Simple as that.